Hello, my name is Lindsay Barnhill, and I'm a business student at the College of Southern Idaho. And for my business communication class, I decided to research workplace psychology. Now, before I go any further with workplace psychology, I'll give you a definition of workplace psychology. And it is the scientific study of human behavior in the workplace, according to the American Psychological Association. It is also commonly referred to as industrial organizational psychology, or IO psychology. Now, it is responsible for assessing individual, group, and organizational dynamics, and also is also responsible for identifying problems in those areas and then identifying solutions to those problems. Now, from my research, I found that psychologically healthy workplaces had a lower employee turnover rate, had lower employee stress, and also higher employee motivation and satisfaction. Now, there are five main points I want to go over with you today about workplace psychology. Those are recruitment, training, performance appraisal, compensation, and motivation and productivity. Now, as we go further in depth about workplace psychology, we're going to start with recruitment. Recruitment is defined as the search for potential applicants for current and future job openings, according to Lumen Learning. And the importance of workplace psychology in the recruitment part of the employee process is to identify key skills, educational requirements, and necessary work experience to hire those qualified candidates that you need for a job opening. Now, one of the ways workplace psychology does this is through personality testing. And this provides an accurate analysis of applicants' attitudes and employee skills that may otherwise go unnoticed without the implementation of workplace psychology. Workplace psychology in the recruitment process also reduces the amount of time necessary to hire those qualified candidates that you want for your open job positions. Now, once an employee is hired, workplace psychology can also aid in the training process of that employee. The definition of employee training is helping employees develop skills and knowledge necessary for their current job position or future job positions that they may fill. There are three main parts of training. The first part of training is assessment, and it asks the questions of what do my employees already know, and what do they need to know, and this pinpoints the training needs. The second portion of training is the planning phase, and that asks the questions of what is the best way for my employee to learn. Do they learn best online or in person? Do they learn best one-on-one or in a group setting? Workplace psychology asks those questions to learn how your employee is going to learn best and how they're going to become more qualified in the workplace. The last area is implementation, and this is where the training is actually completed and the employee gains the skills that they need and that you require of them. Now, workplace psychology can help by cutting costs, improving savings, and also allowing your employee to learn more and to enjoy their learning more. Now, after an employee has been hired and trained, workplace psychology can help with the completion of the performance appraisal, which is a very important part in any workplace. Now, the performance appraisal centers on the methods of measuring employee success and performance as they complete certain tasks. And workplace psychology can also help employers with taking action on those performance appraisals, as sometimes when an employee ranks below where you would like them to be on a performance appraisal, it can be a tricky situation to talk about those issues. So workplace psychology allows employers to streamline the performance appraisal process to reduce bias. It allows for one simple performance appraisal that is streamlined for every employee, and it doesn't differ from area to area. And it also provides procedures for communicating those performance appraisals to employees to provide the best communication and also provide the best training and knowledge for your employees so they can become better. Now, a big question that many employers ask is, what should I be paying my employees? Well, luckily, workplace psychology has a solution. Compensation can be tricky, as it involves determining the appropriate compensation level for your employees for the skills and tasks that are required of them. Workplace psychologists are experts in analyzing jobs and determining a fair compensation level to assign to those jobs. That's according to the Society for Industrial and Organizational Psychology. By implementing workplace psychology practices, you can prevent overpaying your employees and lowering profit, and underpaying your employees and maybe deterring them away and losing qualified talent. Now, even with fair compensation, it can be difficult to motivate employees. However, workplace psychology also has a solution for this area of the workplace. There are 3 theories that have been proven to improve employee motivation and satisfaction. The first one is Hertzberg's two-factor theory. And this was developed by Frederick Hertzberg in the 1950s, and it found that there are 2 factors that greatly influence employee satisfaction and behavior. The first one is motivator factors, and these lead to satisfaction and motivate employees to work harder. These can include things such as enjoying your work, feeling recognized for your work, and career progression, all things that we consider important in any workplace. The second factor in this theory is the hygiene factor, and that leads to dissatisfaction if they are not present in the workplace. They can include things like salary, company policies, benefits, and good relationships between workers and their superiors. And both of these factors need to be implemented in any workplace to ensure that employees are motivated and happy where they are. The second theory that I want to discuss is the Hawthorne effect. And it is a series of studies that were completed that concluded that employees became more motivated to work harder when they noticed that attention was being placed upon them rather than just the attention. Things that include things that can motivate employees in this area include providing regular feedback and showing employees that they are cared for, and that also their environments are cared for. They're clean, they're well taken care of, and they don't lack the supplies and materials that employees need. And that is a very big contributor in motivating employees. The third and final motivation theory that I want to talk about today is the expectancy theory. And this theory states that people choose how to behave depending on the outcome they expect as a result of their behavior. There are 3 parts of this theory. The first one is expectancy, and that is the belief that your efforts will produce a certain goal. For example, an employee may believe that they will get a pay raise if they work hard, stay late, and do more than what is just average. The second part of this theory is instrumentality, and that is the belief you will receive a reward if performance expectations are met. And that can be an example of if an employee who does work hard and receives that pay raise, that they believe they deserve that pay raise. The third part is valence, and that is the value that is placed on the reward. For the example that I have provided, it can be a pay raise, so that has a monetary value and can be easily valued. But for other things, such as Employee of the Month style rewards, those don't really have a value, a monetary value, but they do have value to employees, and that can differ from employee to employee. And the importance of this theory is that employees are motivated if they believe they will receive a reward. And like I said, these rewards don't have to be monetary based. They can be like praise and progression opportunities that motivate those employees to work harder, according to ContactZilla.com. Now, to wrap up this presentation, I will now summarize the main points of workplace psychology and its role in the workplace. So, there are 6 main functions of workplace psychology that I discussed in this presentation. The first one is that it streamlines recruitment techniques, and that is allowing your recruitment techniques to be bias-free and to hire the most qualified candidates. The second is that it allows for tailored learning methods, and that it includes allowing your employees to learn how they wish and to make sure they are retaining that information in the best way possible. The third point is performance appraisals, which I discussed earlier, and that is that they are done correctly and also communicated correctly, which is very essential in any workplace. The fourth part is correctly calculated compensation. This can be a tricky subject. As I mentioned before, you don't want to overpay your employees and lose profit, and you don't want to underpay your employees and lose qualified talent in the workplace. The fifth point is that workplace psychology can provide a positive impact on motivation and productivity. As I mentioned earlier, it has been proven that by implementing workplace psychology practices, you can reduce employee stress and improve employee satisfaction. That is why it is very important, not only for you as a business owner, but also for your employees. The sixth point I have for you today is that it simply saves money time and resources. You can cut back many costs by allocating resources towards workplace psychology, and it also saves you time in many daily areas that you may require of yourself or your employees. Workplace psychology is essential in any workplace, and that's why I believe it is so important to implement workplace psychology practices in your business to improve the life of your business and the life of your employees. Thank you. Are there any questions?